Hello guys, welcome back to Hollywood Recapped. Today I'll be covering Swept Away, a 2002 American adventure film. As the film opens, we witness passengers boarding a private plane from New York and being welcomed by the captain. The jet takes off and there follows a montage of the passengers' obviously lavish spending. The jet touches down and the passengers are immediately transferred in a fleet of luxury cars. Amber and Tony, two of the passengers, are at the head of the group. When they get at the harbor, Amber is irritated to see the ship that they will be boarding. Tony tries to persuade her that everything will be fine. The captain of the ship greets them all, but Amber is extremely snobby towards them. Pep, one of the crew members, is furious with her attitude and the captain's treatment of her, but he is ordered to show her into her cabin. She then inquires about the gym, to which Pep responds that he would bring the gym to her. She screamed at her husband, "It's just an exercise bike." Pep then brings a jump rope and threatens to strangle the captain with it. Another passenger, DB, praises about the trip from Greece to Italy over dinner. Before Tony comes, the other guests keep making fun of her. Amber is irritated since they decided to dress up for dinner. Pep informs the captain in the kitchen that he can deal with Amber, but the captain argues that he is well paid for this job. Except for Amber, the guests are swimming. Pep tries to be friendly to her, but she is nasty. Amber is riding her bike later, debating capitalism versus communism, then money and fame. Pep pays attention and informs the captain that she is harsh and uncaring. She whips her fingers at him and demands water and a towel. He unwillingly agrees. Later, as the female guests are sunbathing, Pep prevents two crew members from spying on them but then observes them himself for a bit. And Amber takes notice of that. Throughout the day, she continues to treat him horribly. That evening, the guests bet as Pep fishes. He was a full-time fisherman, according to story, until pollution put a stop to it. When they ask his view, he adds the chemicals have made some people's lives easier, but easier doesn't always imply better. Money corrupts people's morals. Amber complains about the food at breakfast, and Pep finally cracks and throws the bowl over on her head. She screams to Tony to act, but Pep says him not to, and after that throws Amber over the side into the sea. But it was all a figment of his imagination, and he returns to the kitchen. The kitchen team tastes the food and finds that everything is fine. The captain orders them to prepare it again. When he goes to apologize to Amber, she asks if they are being punished for their wealth. He says no way, and he adores their money. Amber overhears Pep bow to the captain after the guests spend the day on shore. She complains, but the captain smooths things over. She insists on having the fish she bought that day cooked for her for dinner. The chef refuses to prepare the poor quality fish she gave, so they cook Pep's fish instead and serve it to her. She is completely unaware. The yacht is rocking that night, and when Pep carries a fish across the corridor, he runs into Amber. As she is pretty drunk, she begins to flirt with him and tries to stop him from passing. She requests a dance, but he refuses since he will not dance with someone he dislikes. The spouses stay up late the next night playing cards and drinking. Amber climbs up on deck as Pep stands back. She notices him looking at her and stalks away. The next day, the other guests leave Amber behind to tour some caves. She insists on accompanying him and Pep is directed to do so. Despite the fact that he believes it is a horrible idea due to the distance and current, he agrees. The engine breaks down as they approach the cave. Pep attempts unsuccessfully to restart it. Amber is concerned that they are drifting too far away from shore and he informs her that he warned her about the current. They are still afloat when night falls. Amber is enraged. The next morning, Pep laments his bad luck. He attempts to repair the engine once more but drops a tool overboard. He dives down to try to find it just as Amber awakens. She begins to scream his name because she believes he has abandoned her or drowned. He approaches her and asks whether she missed him. She questions why her friends haven't come to locate her yet and Pep explains that the sea is a huge place. He climbs aboard and she begins searching the boat. She discovers a flare gun. Pep later catches a fish and gives it to Amber raw to eat. She finds it repulsive and disposes of it. Pep is irritated since it took him hours to capture it. They notice a ship in the distance. Amber attempts to shoot a flare pistol, but when it fails, Pep attempts to grab it away from her. They fight, and the gun fires, puncturing the inflatable boat. Then enraged Amber yells loudly. As night strikes and a storm approaches, they cling to the deflated raft. Amber sees land the next morning when they wake up. They paddle towards it and make their way to shore. Pep climbs further, only to discover that they had arrived on a small deserted island. Amber refuses to believe that this location might be uninhabited and refers to him as a hairy worthless midget. He warns her to keep her lips shut and storms away, yelling at her. Pep discovers a shack and sets up a little camp, making tools and gathering water. Amber explores on her own and eventually comes across Pep. She notices him drinking and looks up at the bottle, thirsty. She comes up behind him as he leaves to go spear fishing and snatches his water. As he returns, he notices her and she smiles triumphantly. He, on the other hand, has caught a lobster and is eating it while she looks on enviously. She informs him that she would pay him for his fish, but he refuses to accept her money. She hurls sand at him, and he slaps her across the face, telling her that he is now in command. He orders her to do his clothes first, and then he would feed her, and that she should call him master from now on. He hands her his dirty clothing to wash. She returns, and he insists that she express her gratitude to him for the opportunity. He tells her to refill his bottle with water before handing her some lobster. He goes to his cabin, but he refuses to let her in. She says that she is freezing and would not live another night, but he refuses to let her in. He wakes her up early the next morning and orders her to tidy his room. They later go fishing together, and she prepares it for him. She promises him that she will reward him if he is nice to her. He wonders how she knows anyone will come to their aid. He warns her that she will be chastised every time she disobeys him, just like she did on the ship. Later, they go fishing again, and he catches an octopus, but she is terrified and throws away. She then proceeds to sit down, but Pep insists on her waiting for him. He reminded her that he is now her master and requests that she sing and dance for him. As he watches, he is astounded by her performance. He smokes the next day while she does her duties. They begin to quarrel, and he pursues her. On the sand dunes, they battle, and he pushes her down. She eventually gives in to his demands, but he suddenly abandons her, telling her that he should first fall in love. He tells Amber that he will become her god and that she does not yet know who he is. Amber is seated on a rock in thought some hours later. She brings home some firewood the next morning, and they spend the day together on the beach. She is eventually permitted to sleep in the shed. They appear to spend time with friends more as time passes, until she becomes more proficient at survival. She observes a yacht while collecting firewood one morning, but decides not to cry out for it. That night, she is quiet and asks him whether he would prefer to be with someone younger. He claims to be a man who prefers to be with women rather than girls. It begins to rain, and Pep finds a bottle of whiskey and begins to drink. Amber also takes some, and they start to relax. She tells Pep she loves him the next day while repairing fishing nets. He feels that if they hadn't been shipwrecked, they would have remained the same. Later, she captures an octopus by herself and gifts him with eggs. He assures her that he has done what needed to be done to her. She tosses the eggs at him, and he tries to catch her. They have more enjoyable times together, and her abilities and attitude improve. They wake up on the beach together some time later and notice a yacht off the shore. She begs him not to call out, but he insists that, only if she loves him, she must exhibit it in the actual world. She begs again, but he refuses. Finally, the two are saved. Their rescuers inform Amber that she has been featured in the media. The captain informs her that her spouse is on his way to meet her. He continues by telling Pep that they have been gone for nearly a month and that the entire world has been buzzing about them. Her husband is wealthy, and Pep will be well compensated. Tony praises Pep for his assistance at the harbor. Tony is hugging Amber while Pep walks away to the bar. The man approaches him and offers him a large sum of money. Pep pushes the man out, but he does not take the bag containing a large sum of money with him. Pep takes the money to the jeweler and buys a ring. Amber and Tony arrive at the hotel and receive a call from Pep. She wonders why he waited all this time to call. He informs her that he has been phoning, but that no one has informed her. He informs her that he loves her and that they should find a solution. She advises him to leave a note at reception explaining what he should do, and she will do it. He sends her a note in which he informs her that he will have a boat available for their escape in the morning and presents that to the night receptionist, instructing her to only give it to Amber. Amber checks her phone for texts first thing in the morning. Tony unexpectedly joins her, and the receptionist hands them a letter, but it's about the helicopter. They board the helicopter later, as Pep waits at the harbor. Tony hands Amber an envelope containing a $100, instructing her to reward the bellboy. The mail contains a note from Pep that includes the position of his yacht. The bellboy delivers the envelope to Pep, who tears it open to reveal the ring. Pep runs towards the helicopter after being directed there by the bellboy. Amber sobs as the helicopter departs just as Pep arrives. Devastated by this, he throws the ring into the sea. And the film ends here. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below, and please like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next recap.